Welcome to the show. I'm Doug Johnson. Each month, we focus on a local personality who has a message for all of us. This morning, our guest is Freeman Blade, a born and bred Twinsburger. Freeman, I was going to say old Twinsburger, I won't say that, but he's been around Twinsburg forever. And Freeman has a really interesting history, including what he's doing now to help the youth, the future citizens of America, and how he hopes and is getting them to accomplish great things. So Freeman, welcome to the show.
Absolutely,
Thanks for
Doug.
being here.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled that after about 25 years we were able to reconnect, and it has been just super. I'm so happy we did that.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is your backstory? Obviously, I mentioned that you were brought up here in Twinsburg. You graduated from Twinsburg High School.
Right. Originally, family moved out of Cleveland.
Okay.
76 in Quincy, then the Mount Pleasant area, John Adams area. Always had the vision and the dream of owning a home.
Right.
And they started in the 50s. Bought land here, and then in the 60s they built over here on Twinsburg Road. And that's when, I came out, and the community was extremely welcoming. Had never been, we had come out periodically here to play baseball at a field, Curry's Field over on Twinsburg Road. And so I knew of it, hadn't met a lot of people, but when I moved and started school at R.B. Chamberlain, then it was like, whoa, there's stuff going on out here.
Right.
Then got with the basketball team, and those guys were just, tremendously welcoming to me, being an outsider, hit it right off. Started, and there we go for the next 4 years.
Well, and so you were involved in basketball in high school. Then when you left or graduated from Twinsburg, you kept on with your basketball career.
Interesting story, because there is, I believe that people are here to help you. I'm going to say that up front, because the first time I got stopped by a policeman in Twinsburg, it was to help me with a flat tire. Our team in Twinsburg was pretty good, ranked in the Beacon Journal at the time, in the Plain Dealer. But I didn't get a lot of offers. My football coaches, Bob Smith, Robert Smith, Mickey Muffett, told me, Freeman Blade, you are going to go to school. These were my freshman football coaches. And then Mr. Eichler, my science teacher, kind of navigated me through my senior year. And it was an amazing experience. Mrs. Fisher said to me, you need to learn how to speed read if you're going to go to college. So there was this swelling of, support. And from there, I went to Anderson College, Anderson, Indiana. Stayed 2 years, dropped out.
Okay.
Came back home, worked for 2 years at Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Played basketball 6 days in a week between Akron and Cleveland. And then there was a guy that had coached in the Olympics, in '64 Olympics, Hank Vaughn. He looked at me playing. He says, I want you to play for the Goodyear Wingfoots in the Big Four tournament in Akron at that time.
Okay.
After that, he asked me if I was going to school anywhere or what I was doing. I was working at a computer center, because at Anderson I was in computer science. He says, you need to be in school. He called the coach at Kentucky State at the time and the coach at Eastern Montana College in Billings, Montana. Doug, 1 week later, this man called me from Eastern Montana College and said, can you be out here for the spring? I had never been west of Chicago.
Okay.
So here's a city kid, Cleveland area.
Yeah.
And I had to fly all the way to Montana, Billings, Montana. There's nothing out there. And from there, the odyssey in terms of basketball and learning life took off. Played there at Eastern Montana, graduated, got drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers 2 years, my junior year and my senior year. And went to play, got cut. The ABA folded. Mm-hmm. A lot of the players from the ABA came to the NBA, so rookies like myself, you know, okay, if I'm gonna spend $45,000 a year, let me spend it on somebody who's a little more experienced. So I got knocked out because of numbers. But I was lucky to have been there. Mm-hmm. Great teams. Played with Athletes in Action, Christian organization. Loved it. That started putting together my spiritual foundation.
Okay.
I was born and raised Baptist, right here, Mount Olive Baptist Church in Twinsburg. Mm-hmm. And then from there, just went on that basketball odyssey. It was the Philadelphia 76ers got cut. Played with Athletes in Action. The next year, they released me. They wanted to pick up another player, which was great. I went to the Summer League at Pepperdine for the NBA. Out of 175 people, 150, 75 people, players, they chose 11. I was one of the 11, chosen by the Phoenix Suns. And then Phoenix picked me up, kept me through all the way through the exhibition season. Had a chance to play against Kareem and all of the, you know, the great ones at the time during exhibition season. And then they let me go. Doug, you're talking about a dream not come true.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
So, and then from there went to Anchorage, Alaska, with the idea that I would come back, and ended up spending 8 years in Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay.
And, you know, from there went, you know, after several years in Anchorage coaching and playing, went overseas. 7 years overseas coaching and playing. Came back, got the job at Twinsburg, coaching girls basketball. And along with Tony Whitmer and his brother Greg, started building the girls program. And as I was leaving 6 years later, got the job at assistant position at University of Akron. We were knocking on the door. At the time I took over, it was bottom of the CBC at the time. When I left, we were knocking on the door, second place. After I left, they won back-to-back CBC championships. So kind of a legacy of basketball was left there, and went to University of Akron, and then from Akron, 9/11, Mom died. Then I went back overseas. And then come back and, St. Peter's College in Jersey City, New Jersey, coached women's basketball for 2 years, Division I, then got the job at Case Western Reserve for 6 years, and then 4 years ago decided to start it on my own. Let's just do this.
Well, and it sounds to me, Freeman, like the fact that you are repeating now, and what we're going to talk about as we get into the program, you are basically fulfilling and doing what others had done for you early in your career.
That's exactly,
They all supported you and carried you and guided you and mentored you, and that's what you're doing now.
Got to give it back.
And you're giving back.
Got to give it back.
And one of the things that we've talked about, and I know are so very important for you, are the values of personal character, of respect for not only yourself but for others, and the value of life and relationships. So can you talk a little bit about each one of those and how in today's world and what you're doing with your coaching and your business, how you're giving back as far as those three values are concerned?
Yeah, Doug, I tell my wife all the time that I spend a lot of time with myself on the road, traveling different places. You're sitting in, hotel rooms or, airport. And when I speak with kids now, there's an organization called Positive Coaching Alliance, national organization. And when I talk with kids, I talk to them about three things. I first ask the question, what is introspection?
And do they or do they not know?
No. It's amazing. Doug, it's amazing. They don't spend time with themselves. They're outside of themselves so often. Back in the days, you could read and you could go to the library and you spent, time. Now it's too much of that other stuff going on, which is okay. Technology and the whole bit, that's good. But spending time with yourself, knowing who you are, introspecting, looking inside oneself. When I ask kids to do that, or I'm challenging them to do that, it's almost as if, well, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. Because their world is outside of them, when really it's within you. Even when I coach basketball, I say basketball is from the inside out. It's not outside in. So you understand principles. And once you understand who you are, then you know what you can give.
Okay.
And that's the key. I am here, and I tell the kids, know who you are first, so introspect. Take care of yourself. Find out about yourself. But then the second piece of that is you got to help your teammates be better, or you got to help your family be better. So you got to lead, and part of being a leader is serving. So there's a servant leadership component.
Interesting.
To the principles of living. Right now, as an 8th grader, you have the ability to lead and to serve. As a manager, as an employee of a company, you have the ability to lead and to serve. All of us have it within us. It's just, it comes out differently. Some are more vocal, some are more demonstrative, some are laid back, some talk more, some talk less. But there's always that leadership piece in you once you know who you are. And then honoring. Honoring, in terms of the athletes, it's know yourself, make your teammates better, leadership and servant, and then honoring the game. I always tell my kids, once training is finished, go hug your mom and dad. You need to have an attitude of gratitude.
Okay.
Competition is a Latin word which means you and I will struggle together to achieve excellence. That's the true meaning of competition. It's not to destroy, it's not to beat down, it's not to humiliate or defame. It is, I am going to push you to be your best, and you do the same to me, and together we become successful and on that way to excellence.
Well, and I had never thought of it that way, but how interesting, how important and how cool is that whole philosophy that competition is building each other?
I had mentioned to a group of businessmen, the Chamber of Commerce, and I said to them, what will make your business better is how you interact and know how to give to the community and to help others that even are in competition with you. Grocery store. How can I help you be better and you help me be better? Why do I have to say that store X is no good and you need to buy from us? No, when we work together, when the attitude is, let's do this so that we can achieve and serve our customers, customers are coming. That's the way it works, Doug. If you go competing on the other side and trying to be antagonistic, then now you're breaking the flow of moving forward. And we call it positivity in growing. You'll make more money when you work together. It seems as if, I need mine, you need yours. No, when you work together, there's a spirit about that kind of working together that produces more than the sum of its parts, so to speak. We get more out of it when we work together. It applies athletically and it applies in business. So the more we learn to work with each other, knowing who we are and what we can give, the more successful we're all going to be.
Interesting that you should say that. Years and years ago, when I was in banking, our banks here in Twinsburg all work together. And if you were to come in to me and say, Doug, I'd like a mortgage loan for this amount of money, whatever. And I'd say, Freeman, we're about out of mortgage money.
That's right.
However,
Yeah.
let me pick up the phone and
Yes.
call my buddy who
Yes.
manages the
Yes.
office down the street.
Yes.
I happen to know
Yes.
they have mortgage money available.
Yes.
Let me put you in touch with him.
Yes.
And many people at that time said to me, but you're sending people to the competition. Well, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't have installment loan money,
Right.
they'd call our office
There
and
you go.
say, hey, Doug, I've got somebody sitting with me that needs an installment loan. We can't help them. Can you?
Right.
So I see exactly what you're saying. When and this isn't really a slam against big corporations, but you know how that goes. It seems when the big corporations, the big banks took over, that happened less and less
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
now there were quotas to meet.
Yeah.
And I understand from some friends of mine still in banking that the quotas are starting to fall by the wayside. And it's more, how can you help the customer?
Yeah.
Not how can you force them to open 3 checking accounts with
Yeah, right, right.
5 direct
Exactly.
deposits, but
Exactly.
help the customer and
Exactly.
fulfill their needs.
Exactly.
So what
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're saying. It's just right there,
Yeah.
and just really neat. So as you were growing up and becoming what you are today, all these people helped you, and so why is it so important for you to turn around and give back to the students and the athletes of today?
You know, as you grow up, you know, you start out and you want to be a professional basketball player, so you can make money. You want to help mom and dad. Money's driven you, or the fame or the prestige or whatever. You know, I said I played in the NBA, or I make money in my business. I'm driven to do that. I want to support my family in it. But again, Doug, I spent a lot of time with myself, reading and introspecting. And ultimately what I come up with is the reason we're here is, and it's that purpose-driven life. Again, it goes back to, how can I help someone else be better? The Dells singing group, R&B group, back in the 60s, they had a second, third song on their album.
By the way, I'm glad you remember them because I do too.
Some of the lyrics in that second, third song was about, I'm going to open up my heart today and see if I can be a friend. I'm going to open up my eyes to see who I can help today. That resonated with me because there's too much other stuff going on that can drag people down. So why can't I come and say, Doug, how you doing? And be sincere.
Right.
It may only be 30 seconds, but you know, that 30 seconds of talking with you may be the 30 seconds that says, you know, life is not that bad. It's okay. And out of all of my experiences and understanding that, you know, that's how it is sometimes, people do get down, and let me be that encouraging word. That's the purpose of us living. And I want my kids to play like that. We play for each other, not for points, not for all the accolades I could get, but how can I help you be better? Nothing thrills me more than to watch 5 players on the floor distributing the basketball, i.e. San Antonio Spurs, okay, at the pro level. It would be North Carolina at the college level. And watching the ball move, and there's a rhythm to it, and all of a sudden there's a jump shot. The Cavs do a good job of that. They move the basketball.
Right.
Some people want to say that, you know, LeBron handled, no. He understands how to play. And the distribution of the ball brings everybody involved. Everybody now feels valued.
Right.
They give more. When I value you, when I value your effort, rather than the result of anything, then you feel more willing to give. And that's the art of living.
That's
It's
nice. That's
How,
nice.
how do we make it all work for everybody? if we did that more, okay, politically, I understand the nuances and changes and differences. Got it. You ain't going to please 300 million people.
Right.
Got it. But when we are generally all on the same page in the caring, loving of each other, really, Doug, there's nothing that this nation, basketball team, household, business can't do. That's the power in it.
Well, and speaking about power, let's move on, because what you said is so important and so earth-shattering. Not that it's earth-shattering, but when you stop and think about it, it really is, because we don't think about it. So, taking one of your points and focusing on self and thinking about self and what can I do and how can I help others be better is so critical. But let's talk about 3 strategies for success. And you and I have talked about the fact that success is little achievements in progress.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, every day. What can I get better at today? When I coach the kids, when they come in, I said, right before we get started, I said, okay, gang, let's get better today. That's it. I don't care what happened yesterday. I'm working toward the future, but in this moment, I am focused on how can I be better right now. That's success. Little achievements all along the way give you your success. Too many times we're too concerned about the big picture, where we're going. I got to get here, and I got to know this person. I got to know that person. No.
Just one
right now.
Step at a time.
And championships, Phil Jackson talked about, and you'll hear coaches talk about being in the moment. This moment. Don't get distracted. Take care of this moment. And then we take care of the next. Take care of the next. And that's a great philosopher, teacher said, take care of today. Don't worry about tomorrow. And it will all take care of itself.
Beautiful. Number 2, competition is challenging the other player or the team to be better.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we mentioned that. It's I want you to be better. So I am going to develop my skills so that when I compete, wrestling is ideal for this. Individual sports where it's just mano a mano. But when I push you, I learn. You do something, oh my gosh, you got my shoulder and I can't get out. So I've learned. I do something to you. So I've learned. And now we both get better because we've pushed each other, because we've taken our skills and developed. So it's not, I'm always developing me to help someone else develop, because I need to compete or push them to be better. When you do that athletically, when you push each other, even in the family, that's why you have mom and dad. This or grandma, okay, and son. That little bit of struggle there, differences, help to make each better. That's the art of living. How do I make you better? That means I got to be better. I got to be thinking about what I have to give. Once we get on that path, not only do we both get better, life becomes, that movable feast.
And what a perfect segue. You are so good at this. Your quote from Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
Life is a movable feast.
Yeah.
Enjoy every day.
Oh, every day.
What a great quote.
Every day. He said, life, right now, I'm going to wake up this morning and enjoy this day. I could be in a wheelchair. I could be atop of the flat top mountain in Anchorage, Alaska. Or I could be looking at the Ferris wheel in Vienna. This is a great day. It's a wonderful day. I'm going to enjoy this. So I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to enjoy my food. I'm going to walk and enjoy the sun. I'm going to smell the roses, so to speak. And all of that interaction, personally and interpersonally through the day is an enjoyment. That's the feast. I'm enjoying it every second of every minute of every hour in the day.
And that fits right into one of your strategies, so we don't have real long to talk about this, but something that you said earlier, life should be about humanity.
Yeah. It's about the valuing of one another. Mm-hmm. It should be honoring of one another. It should be the appreciation that I'm sitting across this table with you and you with me. It's about Betsy and Jeff and Doug, Dennis. It's about all of us getting together and just having some fun together. It's about the humanity of each other. I'm not here to destroy you. I don't want to destroy you. I want to care enough about you so that you can enjoy your life too. That's the humanity of us. We all want to get along, whether I'm Spanish, whether I'm, black, whether I'm Asian, I don't care. It's about us being human. Common denominators are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. So how am I going to help you out this day in Asia, or in Africa, or in South America? How do we do this? And that's part of what sports has done for me. Mm-hmm. It's allowed me to appreciate all of that, because the humanity in sports is just that. We have all these things in common. We run, we get in shape, we get tired, we compete, and that's who we are. We're human beings trying to get through this world, so let's help each other do that.
And what a beautiful place to close. I love it. Thank you so much, Freeman, for being here.
Absolutely.
And it has been absolutely a pleasure.
Good. It went quick.
So it did, didn't it? Has anyone ever asked you what road to follow? Well, a logical question with that would be, well, where are you going? In real life, if we know where we're going, we can get there. If we don't know where we're going, it's pretty hard to get there. So we should set some goals. These are often called destination points. And if we know what the destination is, we can set our roadmap to reaching it.